How inferior training is killing Russian pilots. Welcome to our deep dive into an alarming issue, the inferior training that's killing Russian pilots. This crisis isn't about technology or weapons, but the human factor, the very people who fly these powerful machines. The first thing to understand is that training is the foundation of any pilot's career. Without appropriate education and practice, even the most skilled individuals can falter. This truth applies universally, whether you're a pilot for a commercial airline or a fighter jet in the Russian Air Force. Unfortunately, for Russian pilots, the training standard has fallen drastically. There are reports of pilots getting as little as 20 hours of flying time a year. To put that into perspective, NATO pilots typically fly 180 hours annually. This massive discrepancy is not just concerning, it's dangerous. The reasons behind these inadequacies are varied and complex, with budget constraints being a key factor. When resources are limited, training is often the first thing to suffer. This leads to a vicious cycle, as pilots are forced to learn on the fly, literally and figuratively, heightening the risk of accidents. Moreover, the quality of the training itself is questionable. In one incident, a pilot was forced to eject from a brand-new Su-35S fighter jet due to a system malfunction. An investigation revealed that the pilot had not been properly trained on the aircraft's complex systems, leading to a preventable loss of both man and machine. The lack of simulator time is another critical problem. Simulators allow pilots to practice difficult maneuvers and emergency procedures in a safe environment. But Russian pilots typically spend only a fraction of the time in simulators compared to their Western counterparts. This leads to a lack of preparedness for real-world scenarios, making every flight a potential disaster. But the story doesn't end with inferior training. Once these underprepared pilots are in the air, they face outdated and often malfunctioning equipment. Budget cuts have not only impacted training but also the maintenance of aircrafts. This further amplifies the risk faced by the pilots. The repercussions of this crisis are far-reaching. The number of accidents is increasing, and with it, the loss of precious lives. More than just pilots, these are sons, fathers, brothers whose lives are abruptly ended due to a system that has failed them. The loss of aircrafts is another significant consequence. These machines are not only expensive but also take a long time to replace. Each loss is a blow to the military's operational capabilities, and in times of conflict, it could be a determining factor in the battle's outcome. To address this issue, the Russian Air Force needs to prioritize training. Increased flying hours, quality education, and more time in simulators should be the norm, not the exception. Also, the maintenance of aircrafts needs to be given the importance it deserves. In conclusion, the inferior training of Russian pilots is a grave issue that needs immediate attention. It's not just about winning battles, but about valuing human lives. With concerted efforts, it's possible to turn the tide and ensure that Russian pilots can fly with confidence and safety. As we focus on this issue, it's crucial to remember that the pilots are not to blame. They are victims of a system that has failed them. Let's hope for a future where every pilot, regardless of nationality, receives the training they deserve. After all, their lives, and ours, depend on it.